Hey everybody, Pixel here, and welcome back to another episode of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. In the last episode, Pyra was kidnapped. We rescued Pyra. The Titan was nuked on accident. Now we have to go and stop the Titan from fucking dying. Yeah, things got pretty intense last time. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It was a good video. It wasn't actually. It's one of my videos. What am I talking about? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, anyway, this time we are going to be heading to the Genbu Drifts through the Theospity Temple ruins. This is the wrong way, but there might be something here. Maybe? No? Seems a little... Seems like a bit much to just put this here with no reason. I mean, you can obviously look out on the whole area down there, but... like, what's the point? Why is this here? Future me cut when I'm in the right place. I actually decided to come to an inn before I went to the Theospity ruins, but other than that, that's all that's gonna happen in between, so see you guys there. Okay, here's the place we were supposed to go. I'm jumping down because I have to be fallen with style, as Buzz Lightyear would say. Oh man, Toy Story, those are decent movies. I'm not gonna say they're good because, like, that would be too positive, but they're good. Okay, let's jump down here. We can survive it. If you come here with Wolfric, you actually get a unique cutscene, but since I'm not gonna be going over things directly related to Rare Blades unless it's a quest that I find particularly interesting, yeah, we're not going to be doing that. It's just more time put on to what is meant to be a dire situation. As you can see, it's probably already been 3 hours in game time. You can see the time that's passed up in a day up in the corner, and it's currently 3 a.m. in game, but, yeah, the whole thing about Genbu drowning or sinking to the bottom of the Cloud Sea in 3 hours... it's just plot bullshit, so don't worry about that. Caterpiles will spawn down here, and there are a lot of tough enemies that do aggro onto you, as well. Just pairing that with the fact that this is a relatively narrow passage, and if you fall down there, it's instant death. So yeah, that's not appreciated, but whatever. We have some Vint Griffoxes here, and... you know what, these give me a way to actually show something off that confused me on my first playthrough if they don't de-aggro before we get there. Okay, never mind, they de-aggroed before we get there. Well, this area confused me very greatly because it's quite obvious here. This bridge is broken, you need to push that icicle down somehow to make a bridge, but how do you do that? There's no point that says you can do that. Well, for some reason, you have to come up here, break this, and then Precarious Icicle appears. I get that you would have to break that ice in order to actually be able to push this over, but... one, this is a fantasy game, it doesn't fucking matter. And two, why even put ice up there? You could just have a Precarious Icicle without needing to break ice above it. I don't know, that confused me for a bit because I'm too stupid to understand this game, but... anyway... as you can see, the way down into the actual Genbu Drifts area is by going down on that island, and this area is very confusing to me, just because these islands and those ones look very similar to each other. There is a runner up there that will alert the Moramoras on the walls. There are also fresh Redonias. Oh, and they aggroed on. Okay, well, whatever. We can fight them. There's just 2 of them, and Morag will be able to tank them relatively well, so I'll see you when I'm done fighting these guys. Alright, that was easy. The reason I wanted to do that is because if you come down here, there is a red treasure chest, which obviously those are just great to get because they can have some relatively good items in them. It is not a red treasure chest, it's just a normal treasure chest. God damn it. I got tricked into fighting 3 Redonias, because a third one came in and joined the battle at the very end there. And for some reason I didn't switch to Mithra to speed it up a little bit, but that doesn't particularly matter, considering the fight was already still short, even with Pyra instead of Mithra. I'm trying to plot a route to get around that runner, but it's not going to happen. So, guess we can just run. This area, specifically, is one of my least favorite areas in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've already said my praises about Tantal and just how much I love this area and its nighttime music and everything, but this specific area of Tantal is garbage. Up there is a gigantic arachno that just comes down from that pillar, and I'm not willing to put up with that, so if I see a chance to get around it, I'm gonna take it, because Jesus, arachno are creepy as hell, especially when they're big. I know I said the small ones really aren't creepy, and they, oh my god, it's gonna come down from there too. There are 2 of them, which just makes it even more of an asshole thing, but I managed to get around him, luckily. Might be a bad idea to be skipping a side quest. Why does he have a quest marker above his head? This is Spring Shower Elliot. I don't think I've ever seen him with a quest marker above his head. Should I fight him? No. It's probably better if I don't right now. I said this in the original recording of this video. I think when I'm done with this series, I'll end up doing a live stream where I fight at least half of the unique monsters in the game. And that, of course, includes the drivers. And then I'll do another one where I finish them off, and then I'll put all that together into like a highlight type video, just so I can show what they give and all that. And if I don't do a live stream, I'll just make a big video, but either way, that'll be happening after the series. I'm not going to say immediately after the series because I want to move on to what I have planned next before that, but, you know, it'll happen relatively soon. I'm not going to promise that. That was probably not a good thing to say, because now that'll be held against me by probably Nox. He's the one who does that. He holds things against me, and I don't blame him. I hold things against him too. Like that one time when he was a Lucario. I told him I wouldn't bring that up in a public setting, but I'm not going to give context for it, so I assume that's okay. We have a collection point here. What do we got? Wood. Broom icicles. Are they just icicles shaped like a broom? So one of my initial plans for this Let's Play was to draw some of the funnier sounding items, and that was only dropped recently because I can't draw, but I feel like that would have been a funny gag. So if this area is foggy when you arrive, the Genbu Drifts, run. Leave immediately. Foggy weather is extremely rare in this specific area, but when it is there, well, just take a look at this screenshot. The unique monster you see targeted in this screenshot, Cloud King Ken, will not appear here until you are in the final chapter of the game, because that's when the super bosses spawn. But, he's still surrounded by level 91 gigantic squoods. So at this point in the game, stay far, far away from this area when it's foggy. In the post-game, feel free to come here and fight them, because Cloud King Ken and all those squoods drop really good items, and I mean, it's worth fighting them to get them, because some of the best core chips in the game, some of the best core crystals in the game, you can get legendary core crystals from Cloud King Ken specifically. But, yeah, just take my advice here. Don't try to engage them, especially at this point in the game when you're less than half their level.
Lady Morag, you're making that face again. If you keep frowning like that, you'll get wrinkles.
I just don't get it. Tantal was founded by the Counter-Adamites. Then, after the war, they closed themselves off. But the way the king was acting, I can't help feeling there's something more to it.
What, though?
It was the Praetorium who sent us here on this mission. Why would he go to such lengths to reject it? It seemed almost like he wanted to cut ties with them.
You think Indol is holding something else over Tantal?
That would be an explanation, yes. Zeke, do you know anything useful?
Nope. There's no records from back then.
How about you?
There's nothing in my journal from that period. I might have been returned to my core for some reason or other.
Do you know anything about those days, Gramps?
No, I was somewhere else at the time. And matters of human kingdoms and so on didn't interest me much.
Geez, Gramps. What's the point of keeping an old-timer like you around if you don't even know anything?
Sometimes it's funny how much you sound like Corinne.
So you think the king wasn't telling us everything?
There is a chance.
Do you think it may be related to Jin and his comrades using Torna's name?
If you saw the last state of humanity, you'd understand. Now that you have come this far.
The last state?
Hmm?
Jin said something about the last state of humanity. I thought he meant like an evolution. You know, in the future. But maybe he meant the previous state of humanity.
And that is the key to why they fight?
If that is the case, perhaps I never should have been sealed away after all.
Yeah, Pyra's starting to feel bad about herself because... reasons. Okay, so... Rex has to be the stupidest kid, right? Because, like... all of you felt that he was talking about the previous state of humanity as well, right? Like, you did not think he was talking about a future evolution, like the final state of humanity. I certainly didn't when I first played, and I had no idea that Rex thought that's what he meant either until now. Come on, Rex, get with the program.
What is this place?
A battleground from the Aegis War. There are many things here, I remember.
The walls and floors are melted. Must have been a hell of a battle.
Ophion isn't the only artifice. You've already seen one other, Siren, the one Mithra commands. But during the war, there were countless artifices, wielded by Malos.
So, it's a site of a fight against him.
Say, what are these artificers anyway? We've only actually met Ophion. We've never even seen Siren, just that light thing it shoots down.
They're a power granted to the Aegises. Divine swords sleeping in Elysium, far above us all.
Hold on, I thought Elysium was a paradise, not a scary weapon stash.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
All that I can find in the corners of my memory is that townscape. I don't know why Father created me, or created the artifices. That's what I want to find out.
Pyra.
It's okay. We'll find out once we get there.
I don't think...
Open a chest, it might turn out great. But until then, it's just a crate. That's Rule 4 of the Salvager's Code. Ha ha!
Rex, comparing Elysium to dirty old sea junk?
So this was the site of a fight against Malos, and as you can see, this place that looks like it might have once been a village or a city has been absolutely destroyed. There is nothing left of the entire place, which shows what Malos might be capable of if he's able to get back to the maximum extent of his powers. And that doesn't sound like a good thing for anybody. So it's probably best if we get to stopping them as soon as possible, and reaching Elysium before them as well. If you head over here, this drum goggle will jump down, guarding this chest. You might be able to guess that there might be some decent things in that chest. It is a red chest after all, making up for the one that I thought was red that was actually brown. These goggles are pretty much just as easy as the ones in Gormat. I don't even think there's any unique goggles around here, which, you know, I feel like this guy probably was intended to be a unique monster at some point just by the fact that he's guarding a chest, which is generally something unique monsters do. But he just turned out being a normal grad goggle in the end. I don't know why I said drum goggle, those are the ones in Gormat, but whatever. Okay, let's topple him before the break runs out. Let's go burnout. And double spinning edge. Not quite enough to finish him, but somebody's art did. Probably cross sets because Morag was still recovering, but heading here. This area has a terrible camera because of how small this place is. Common core crystal. Dark defense up 4. That's actually decent, although we won't be fighting any dark element enemies for quite a while. But as we come up to the end here, this is the end of the Tantal Genbu Drifts. So, next time on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we're going to be heading forward and hopefully repairing the Omega Fetter. I'll see you guys then.